I don't have it. Did you switch it, Sue?
I just stopped it because I'm trying to record from this end. Sorry.
There we go, I got it. All right, I just moved Donna over. She's all set, so.
Okay.
Okay, we should have everybody here. Let's see, it's not. Okay, if you're gonna need to talk, raise your hand because some people's faces are blocked, all right? Everybody ready on the council? Okay, I'd like to call the May 26th Town Council meeting to order. And being yesterday was Memorial Day, I would like to start with a moment of silence for all the men and women who are serving here and abroad, but in particularly where it was Memorial Day, those who have lost their lives. And I want to make a special recognition to Air Force Tech Sergeant Joshua Felsberto, who is a Greentree resident and lost his battle last year with PTSD. The end of last year, myself and former Mayor Sullivan attended. There's a dedication that I encourage all of you to go see. It's at the corner of Union and Liberty Street. The family wanted this to be private, but the family within the last week they have a family friend who's a landscaper, and it is absolutely beautiful. There's a park bench as well as a sign dedicated in his name. It is the Air Force Tech Sergeant Joshua Felsberto Memorial Green, the corner of Liberty and Union. So for all those men and women who've lost their life serving our country, if we could have a moment of silence. Thank you. And with that, we will move on to announcements. As many of you know, there's a Hvac organization that is the Fall River, I'm totally forgetting the R, Residents Against the Compressor Station. They have been very active in the fight against the compressor station in Weymouth. I know they've been before us in the past, but they've reached out, some of those members, and want to have somebody from the town council be part of their meetings, which Councillor Flaherty, I know she's been in attendance to those, so she will be representing the council, and when she has information, she will come back to us. I know Councillor Barrica, you have another announcement, so I will turn it over to you.
Thank you so much, President Hume. I do want to make an announcement from our Braintree chapter of Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America, of which myself and Councillor Flaherty are both members. June 5th is National Gun Violence Awareness Day and begins National Wear Orange Weekend. Tragically, the coronavirus crisis is exacerbating gun violence, including bringing heightened risk of domestic violence, unintentional shootings, and gun suicides. Wear Orange Weekend is intended to honor those whose lives have been taken by gun violence and to rally for safer communities. So the Braintree chapter of Moms Demand Action is planning to distribute orange ribbons to as many people as possible. So if any members of the public would like to receive an orange ribbon to show your support, please feel free to reach out to me through the town council email, and we will make sure you get a ribbon.
Thank you, Councillor Barrica. Any other councillor with an announcement? Councillor Flaherty.
Oh, well, I wanted to say that I'm extremely grateful to be able to
Councilor
serve.
Flaherty, do you have your hand raised?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I wanted to say that I'm extremely grateful to be able to serve in this position as Four River Residents Against the Compressor Station. And is that sound caused by my voice? No.
That's
Okay.
the train going by, Julia.
If
Okay.
everybody, anyone who's not speaking, just make sure your microphone's muted.
So, and there
yeah.
are a couple of announcements about the Four River Residents Against the Compressor Station. At this point, the compressor station is really close to completion. If you go look at the site, the brick buildings look like brick buildings, and there's all kinds of piping around that's installed, and I don't know what it's used for, but it's definitely been in place, been put in place. So at this point, Hvac sees it, its primary goal is to prevent that station from ever becoming operational. And the thing that they're concerned about that may affect their ability to do that is that Mayor Headland and the town of Weymouth has been offered money from Enbridge. An amount has not really been settled on, but $10 million is the number that got floated. And that money is offered to help mitigate the impact of the compressor station on Weymouth and the surrounding region. The problem with it is that that money is unlikely to come without strings attached. And opposition to the compressor station is very concerned that if Mayor Headland accepted that money, that he would then have to promise to stop suing Enbridge, that the town of Weymouth would stop suing Enbridge on this project. And a promise like that would basically defund the compressor because Weymouth has borne the brunt, the financial brunt of the battle, the legal battle against the compressor station since the beginning. So for you and any residents who are listening, if you think that Mayor Headland shouldn't take the money and you'd like to show your opposition, then there will be a socially distanced standout against the compressor on the front lawn of Weymouth Town Hall tomorrow at noon. And if you'd like to follow people afterwards over to the compressor site and stand with the Grim Reaper and wave at passersby, there's a standout there planned directly afterwards. So that's what's happening tomorrow, and there will be further updates as time goes by.
Thank you, Councilor Flaherty, and you have to turn it over to Clerk Cimino for a roll call vote. That's what happens when I go off script, so my apologies. Clerk Cimino.
Council Barrica,
Here.
Council Connors,
Here.
Council Flaherty,
Here.
Council Hume,
Here.
Council Mackin,
Here.
Council O'Brien,
Present.
Council Ringus,
Yeah.
Council Ryan,
Here.
Council Sasha,
Here.
all present. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. Okay, if there are any further announcements from any other counselor? All right, we have in attendance with us tonight some of our state legislatures, which I was gonna have them speak first. I understand, Mayor Kokoros, you have a meeting to attend to, so if I will, do you wanna speak on the capital plan first, Mayor Kokoros, or on COVID?
I could start with COVID and then go to capital and whatever. I mean, I have a little time. I think the meeting's at 8, so.
Okay, we'll start with COVID then,
Okay,
because I know, go ahead, Mayor Kokoros.
all right, thank you. So right now, today's totals, 838 cases that we've had test positive here in Braintree. And as you know, more than 62 to 65% have been in long-term care facilities. We've had 87 deaths. Of the 838 cases, minus the 87 deaths, of course, we probably have somewhere in the vicinity of 85% of those cases that I don't want to say have been cured because we don't know enough about the disease, but are no longer on the list as positive for the coronavirus. So there's a very small list of people left out of the 800 and something cases. And when you look at our metrics, I think we just posted it today. We have a nice little little chart to show the spikes and where we are today and where we were in the beginning and how our numbers have come down significantly. So we are definitely heading in the right direction, and everything that everyone has done by social distancing, staying at home, and the closure of so many different businesses and activities has led to the demise of the virus, at least in this short term. So I think that as long as folks keep practicing the social distancing and wearing the masks, we can hopefully maintain these low numbers and continue to go in this direction. And if there are any spikes, you know, under the governor's plan, his phases are approximately 3 weeks apart. So if he sees or they see a particular spike and they see that number going up, then they could freeze that particular phase. So right now, the good thing is, as of Monday, you can get your hair cut. And that is something that I have been waiting for a long time, all right? Don't even look at me, I'm hideous, okay? So I'll tell you, it's good to see their businesses come back to life. I mean, they were closed, earning zero income, and now they have an opportunity to, you know, to try to salvage their businesses. So I've been in touch with a number of different sectors, and some of them obviously are sectors like restaurant sector. And I really, you know, what I've gotten from the restaurant group is that 50% capacity is going to be really difficult for them to survive. So I don't know what numbers are going to come down, but we're working on other alternatives. We're looking at things like outdoor seating and things like that to increase their ability to have more capacity. That way, if they cut down their percentage of patrons, it will give them a larger number to start with. So that's one of the things, and have worked with Councilor Ringa, who's part of the community task force, talking about it, and appreciate all of his efforts. He's been really great in regards to the restaurant sector and other sectors of business. So we're, you know, as we had our press conference, or the governor had his press conference the other day at Simmons Industries, they have kind of set up a really, you know, it's a great program that they have set up there, not just because they have 80s music when they're taking your temperature, but just in general, they're doing all the right things to protect their employees, and that's why the governor went to that particular location to show, even though they never closed because they did make some PPE type things. We went there because they have protocols in place to keep their employees safe. We toured it, we were able to see that. So those are the things that we're gonna see. I will say that Mary Beth, I think, has been prepared for this since she started the first day in Braintree for a pandemic. It was in the book. She had a whole bunch of protocols written in there. But, you know, what Mary Beth was able to do is she was able to not only utilize the resources she had within her health department, with our town nurse, Jean, but also bring back a former town nurse, Mary, and then engage all of the Braintree public school nurses, the nurses brigade, and really create the best tracing system that you could have in the state. There is no better community when it comes to getting that information, which comes from the state Maven, and tracing the folks that have had contact with those folks infected. So, you know, we've seen a downward turn, which is great, but I know that she's prepared with the staff she needs. And when I was asked that question at the conference, can your staff handle it? Well, she has prepared our staff and deputized building department folks to make sure that we have the folks necessary to go out and to enforce and make sure that everyone is in compliance, and help them to be in compliance, make sure that they have all the tools they need. So we're in the beginning stages, as you all know. What I will say is we did, as of this week, we're working on putting the press release out. We're working on opening up all of the fields for recreational use, not for organized sports, not for contact sports. The playgrounds are still closed. The basketball courts are still closed. We're looking at the guidance on things like tennis and some other things, but we're going to take it cautiously. But what we've done is we've put together the information that we're going to publish in regards to all of our recreation areas. So a lot of folks want to go the track. Well, you can now, because you can have 10 people in a group, social distancing, in groups of 10, but you can have more than 10 people is really the order coming from the governor. So, you know, we've already lifted the hair salons order, and they're operating and hopefully doing really well with their businesses. But we continue to meet on a daily basis to really keep up with what's happening, what trends are happening. We're going to watch those trends, and we're going to make sure that, you know, when we get to the point of September, that we have done everything in our power to keep our kids healthy and safe and our families healthy and safe. So I just want to say that we're going to work. We're going to work with all of these businesses as the phases begin. I mean, you can go to church now. There's a lot of things that we took for granted that are available now. And, you know, I just want you to know that I appreciate everything that you guys have been doing. I know that you as counselors not only have been communicating through Facebook and other ways with our residents and your constituents within your district or town-wide if you're at large, but I just see all of the good work that you guys have done, and it's helped make our job easier. And I think as a team effort that we've had here, our numbers have dropped, and they've dropped because of your help and because of the residents and what they've been able to do. So if you have any COVID questions, you know, I'd be more than happy to answer, or Mary Beth, or any of my staff.
Thank you, Mayor Kokoros.
Thank you.
Anybody have a question for Mayor Kokoros? Because are you going to leave, or are you going to stay with us, Mayor?
I'm going to stay for, I just wanted to say a few words about capital and the budget and the supplemental.
Okay. Council Baraka, you have a question for Mayor Kokoros?
Yes, quick question. What about, it's actually two, one for Mayor Kokoros and one for Mary Beth. What about Sunset Lake? Is that included in the reopening plans? And then for Mary Beth, I'm wondering, I know the state has been putting out demographic information with the ages and sex and all that of all the COVID cases. Is that something we have on a town-wide level? Thank you both.
All right. As far as Sunset Lake goes, we will, in our announcement, we are basically opening the gate at both locations. We're not going to have lifeguards available. We are going to have signs that you should not be swimming. And at this point, we haven't done the testing, which Mary Beth gets done every year. And normally there is no swimming until the testing's done anyway.
Yeah.
But our overall situation is going to be, we'll have the facilities open. We will not be having swimming there. It's a situation where we're not going to have lifeguards, and a lot of folks just like to go there, read the newspaper, and so on and so forth. So, and I will say that, you know, we have in regards to, I know that Senator Keenan had been quoted in the Ledger, I think, as far as wanting to release the numbers per nursing home. And, you know, I don't necessarily disagree with him on that. I mean, I don't personally think that it affects anyone's privacy, because it's not really any one individual. If there was one case, maybe, but I mean, we do obviously have a lot of data that we get every day. I mean, Mary Beth and her department, they put everything, they basically create a great database for us. But I think that if that's something that DPH says is okay, I think we could, you know, possibly do that. But it's you know, I defer to Mary Beth at this point as far as how she feels about it. But overall, I mean, the data's there. It wouldn't be difficult for us to disseminate and give it to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor.
Director McGrath, you want to add anything to that?
Sure.
Mary Beth?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. So to jump on Mayor Kokoris's comments, it's certainly something that we've been looking at, and we definitely take the guidance of the state to see what they will and will not allow local communities and municipalities to do. But it is something that our team locally has been looking at and considering what options we might have to release specific information, not patient-related information, but demographic information.
Thanks, Mary Beth. Thank you so much.
Mary Beth, I'm going to have a question for you, and then I'm going to go to Councillor Mackin. For individuals with the contact tracing, I know not in this community, but another community, like somebody was reached out to, but because they were hospitalized, nobody was there to answer the phone. Have we encountered that here in Braintree? And if so, like what's the plan there? Or maybe even to the state legislatures if it hasn't happened in Braintree. Have any of you heard of that?
Normally, by the time we're getting the call is that the patient may have been in the hospital, but has been released from the hospital. We've actually gotten calls from the hospital saying this patient tested positive. They are no longer a patient within the facility. They've been discharged, but they're letting us know. And then as a follow-up, we also get the case through our online communicable disease reported system, which is called Maven.
And Mary Beth continues to call this person until they get a hold of them. And that was one of the reasons why we've been so successful, is that her and her team, unlike, the state does have, a number of people doing it, but we don't give any of our cases to the state because Mary Beth and her team make sure that they follow up and follow up and follow up until they get a hold of someone.
We appreciate the fact that the governor has set up a system for contact tracing, but we feel it very important here in Braintree that we continue to track our own cases because we know individuals, we have connections with them. We also have a wonderful resource database here of many different things that we can offer as referrals. For example, the food bank has been incredible in helping us make sure that our clients have food if they need it, because when you're isolating, you can't easily get out because you're not supposed to leave your home, which that has only helped us with our compliance. They have all been very compliant, and our food bank through Mayor Kokoris and Toland, Marta Guggens has been wonderful in helping us accomplish that, as well as Kate Naughton with the mayor's office. And BEMA has also helped in deliveries as well.
Thank you. Any of the Senator Keenan, Senator Tilby, or Representative Hvac want to add to that?
On that item specifically?
If not, I'll come back to you.
Okay.
That's okay. Okay. Senator Keenan, go ahead.
Sure, thank you. Good evening, everybody. It's nice to see you all again, and hopefully we'll see each other
Good
soon in
evening.
person. And can you hear me okay? Great, okay. So just a quick update on where the state is, and I think Representative Hvac is on, as is Senator Timilty. So I thought I'd just touch on a couple of quick things. First, the mayor talked about how many cases that Braintree has. I can tell you now that across the Commonwealth, we have 93,693 confirmed cases, and that is up 422 over yesterday's report. And in terms of deaths, we are now at about 6,473, which is up about 57 over yesterday. Those numbers are still alarmingly high, but they are trending in the right direction. And trending of those numbers is what the impetus was in the governor introducing his reopening plan and doing it in phases. As you know, his plan calls for 4 phases, and there'll be 3 weeks in between, depending upon the data that I just mentioned. But they've got a whole host of different data points that they will use as they make the determination after 2 weeks, going into a 3rd week, on whether to proceed to the next phase of the reopening. Right now, we're in the phase where office space is open, subject to 25% occupancy and social distancing and a lot of other requirements. Hair salons and barber shops, they opened, a lot of them open today. They are subject to some pretty strict guidelines on how they operate. their shops, including what they should wear, what their clients have to wear, the different measures they have to take in terms of hygiene in between in between each customer, their waiting system, which is generally by appointment only, or some sort of a queue that's done off a kiosk or online through an app. So they're moving forward. Construction and manufacturing, they are subject to very stringent guidelines as well as to how they will operate. The biggest issue that I still see, and it's reflected in the phone calls and the emails that I get, is unemployment. We are up about 300,000 claims now here in Massachusetts. There's nearly 43 million claims nationally, and that's a combination of kind of traditional unemployment claims plus those that are generated by the gig economy and independent contractors, which are kind of new claims associated with this pandemic, at least in terms of the federal government and the state governments providing coverage. So I just like to tell people that they should be aware that the state has a lot of resources relative to unemployment. And I will direct people, the easy thing to do is if you go to my website, which is senatorjohnkeenan.com, there's two specific tabs. One is on the reopening plan. It has a lot of information. It has links directly to the governor's plan and has valuable slides there. And then it also has separate tabs relative to K through 12 education, higher education, and transportation. And then I have a general page with a lot of subpages. And one of the subpages has to do with unemployment. And if you go there, it will describe the different types of unemployment that are available, how to apply. It will lead you to information to the virtual town halls that the state is offering. We're getting very good feedback on that from individuals. You can either join by phone or by video and participate in a town hall. They'll walk you through the unemployment application process. There's also a good unemployment guide out there. There's a link for that as well. And then I just want to make people aware of the Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Compensation Program. This program is for individuals who have exhausted traditional unemployment. And this would provide an additional 13 weeks of unemployment benefits when all others, as I say, have been exhausted. And so I urge people to make sure they take advantage of those programs. If they have any questions, they can contact me through the website, through our email, or through telephone number, which is on the website as well. And then then in the Senate, we have joined to voice our concern about the programs that are being offered in Washington and making sure that there are sufficient funding for the continuation of those programs. And one of the ones that we obviously have focused on is, and the House has passed it, we'll see what the United States Senate does and what the President does, but it's the HEROES Act. And that's critically important for communities like Braintree because there is in there $750 billion for state and local fiscal relief. And that I know in talking with the Mayor Chorus, the councilors in Quincy, with the mayor and the councils, and then with the members of the select boards and the towns I represent, there's genuine concern about what the financial picture looks like going into next year. We've touched on that over the past couple meetings. The state is still on track to still looking at very, very serious revenue shortfalls going as we finish out this fiscal year. We're basically running on borrowed money now. We're covering with the revenue anticipation note that both the House and the Senate passed, I think it was last week or the week before. So those are the things that we're working on. We continue to hear from people that have some food security issues. We work with them on that. And I think as we proceed through the next couple of weeks, you can start to see it a little bit now. People are becoming a little bit more inquiring about what's going to happen in terms of K through 12 education and then higher education as well. And the longer term plans for those, meaning what will occur in the fall, they're still in the works. And you're starting to see some of the state universities talk about opening and having students back. But that is, again, a process that's in the works. So that's just a quick rundown of a few things. I know Representative Hvac and Senator Timilty have some items I'm sure that they'll cover as well. But again, and this is, I'm not selling anything on my website, but it is, there's a pretty good resource there. We've been able to bring a lot of pieces of information together. So if you go to senatorjohnkeenan.com, there are tabs on education, transit, unemployment, food security, housing, all those items are covered, and it'll bring you to reliable sources of information particularly state and federal websites. So, thank you.
Thank you, Senator Keenan. All right, I want to get to Councillor Mackin. He's had his hand up for a while, and then I'll get back to our state legislatures. Councillor Mackin, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam President. Mr. Mayor, if you covered this in your list of things of reopening, I missed it, I apologize. But I wanted to ask about the resident drop off at the transfer station. And many constituents had reached out during this time when that would open back up. And I know there's minimal human interaction there. People drive up, drop off their trash and drive away. So I wanted to see if there's any plans for reopening that.
Thanks for the question. Did not address it. And I will not be leaving the meeting because they canceled the meeting till tomorrow night. So I'll be here. Yes, we spoke about it twice so far, and we are working on putting a plan together. Mr. Arsenal and I are working to put together a plan so that we can reopen it. And I understand the need for it. And certainly we wanted to make sure that we have the proper safety protocols in place. And I think that between my chief of staff and Mr. Arsenal, we will be able to come up with a plan to reopen it. I would hope as early as next week at this point. So that we will be working on that. And thank you for that question.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Councillor O'Brien, you have your hand raised. Go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, I guess when you unmute, your hand goes down. So I've had consistent questions about the contact tracing, and it sounds, according to you, Mr. Mayor, and also Mary Beth, that we have staff available. I guess my only concern would be, is that staff enough for you as we progress into this more opening? And I know that up to date, the contact tracing has been well established, and it's good to know that the nurses have come in from the schools. When school basically darkens, if you will, under a normal season, will those people still be available, or do we need to get other people? And then part and parcel of that is, of course, now that you're putting people more at risk with that haircut that you're going to get, Mr. Mayor, you know, I would think that the contact tracing is even more relevant now. And so what's the plan there? And then I have one other comment afterwards, but I'll go on mute for the time being.
I'm just going to answer the first question. I'm going to let Mary Beth answer the remainder of it. But there is a log sheet that you need to keep in order to make it easier for communities to have contact tracing. So everyone that comes in, for example, getting a haircut, in their case, they already have it set up so that everyone is listed with an appointment, and they have to go out to the car and bring them in, et cetera. So there's definitely going to be a record. I'm not sure what happens when we get to retail stores, if that log is going to be as effective, but certainly in many of these businesses right now, there has to be record of who came in contact with who and at what time, and how many people the person came in contact with that came into that particular business. So I'll just leave it there, and through the president, ask for Ms. McGrath to answer the rest.
Okay, thank you. I don't know if anybody else is having trouble on their end with audio. Mine is not coming through clearly. So if I miss something, I apologize in advance. I'm getting messages. My internet is not very good, so I'm ready to click over to my iPad if need be. Okay, the state legislatures, do you want to add anything, Senator Timothy, Representative Cusack, on COVID or the budget as we see it?
Certainly, Madam President.
Senator Timothy, go ahead.
Madam President, thank you very much. Just to give you a little a snapshot, about 3 weeks ago, our Ways and Means Chair in the Senate, Senator Rodrigues, pegged our current deficit for FY 2020 at between $400 to $500 million. And of course, as we're all well aware, the fiscal year will end on July 1 and we'll begin a new fiscal year. That was 3 weeks ago. Last Thursday morning, in conversations I had with our Ways and Means Chair, he pegged the current deficit for FY 2020 as nearing $800 million. And the deficit projected for FY 2021, there are several figures. Everything's extremely fluid. It's changing week from week, as I know Rep. Cusack and Senator Keenan will attest. 3 weeks ago was pegged at between $4 to $6 billion. Currently, the number that the Mass Taxpayers Foundation presented last week was, I believe, $6.02 billion. Our reserve stabilization fund is currently at $3.5 billion, which is one of the largest in all of the United States, if not the largest. It's certainly a record for us here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. It's something we in the state legislature are very proud of, that we've built it up in good times. And now we are poised to infuse the monies into this budget process with our deficits this year. And obviously, everything is extremely fluid in terms of our budget process for next year. As Senator Keenan alluded to a moment ago, the House of Representatives, as Rep. Cusack knows well, would have finished their budget in last week of April. We would have finished our version of the budget Thursday night. And right now, that's all in flux. And I'm sure Rep. Cusack will give you a great dissertation on it in a moment. So that's what we're looking at right now. We can't infuse all of those monies from the stabilization fund this year, nor do we need to, given the size of our stabilization fund. We have to be mindful of the fact that Wall Street sets our bond rating. One of the critical factors is our stabilization fund, which of course makes it cheaper to borrow money. So that's what we're looking at in terms of our budget process. Governor Baker, about 2 weeks ago, filed a supplemental budget bill geared towards combating COVID-19. It's a $1 billion budget, supplemental budget request. And it, as is the case with all money bills, it originates in the House of Representatives. And then, of course, the Senate can act on it after the House of Reps. So I know Rep. Cusack and the House of Representatives are working on it diligently. The goal of this supplemental budget is to expend monies that are 100% reimbursable from the federal government. Also, Mayor Kokoris, on our Braintree Chamber conference call last week, you brought up a very key point, something that obviously will help our restaurants and taverns restart and get back on pace to what they're accustomed to. And that is outdoor seating and streamlining the process. As we know in the municipal level, that the municipal government, of course, licenses these establishments, and the ABCC is engaged as well. You would file an amendment to the license, and the ABCC process could take several weeks. But given what we're looking at and the fact that many establishments will be trying to achieve outdoor seating, the ABCC could take several months. So there is legislation pending right now. Senator Paul Feeney discussed it today in the Senate caucus, Senate docket 2944, which would take temporarily the ABCC out of the process in terms of approval. They would simply be notified and it would be left up to the locality, the municipality. And that way restaurants, taverns, bars, what have you, with the approval of localities could ramp up and establish outdoor seating with social distancing in an appropriate manner. So those are just some of the things we're working on, and that's just a snapshot. Obviously happy to answer any questions, and I know Rep. Cusack, obviously.
Sure.
Thank you, Senator Timilty. Hold, Representative Cusack, if I could just say, if Councilor Bryan has a question. Go ahead, Councilor Bryan.
Well, it's unrelated because it refers back, and unfortunately, Madam President, you said you had voice problems, but Mary Beth was going to take part of the answer that the mayor didn't quite complete. So could we pass the ball over to Mary Beth, please?
Sure, Mary Beth.
Certainly. And with regard to the question about contact tracing, we have more than enough staff. I know that I've repeated that on many occasions before the council and the subcommittees, but I feel very confident that with the nursing staff that we have, both physically in the department as well as the school nurses, that we have more than adequate staff. And should we have the need to reach out to the state partners in health, then we absolutely will do that. And we've made that clear to them that if and when we do need their help, that they would be the first call that we make. So we're not at that point. I don't see us at that point, hopefully ever, because we feel very proud and possessive, I guess we should say, for our cases. And it's very important to us that we are actively involved in the contact tracing and communicable disease investigations, because it's our community and we feel that very honored and proud to be able to serve the residents this way in the times that they need us the most. So we take absolute possession and pride in keeping those cases.
Thank you. Madam President, just one more thing.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I just want to thank Mayor Kokoris for his leadership. I want to thank Mary Beth and the entire health department for everything they've done to keep us safe. And I particularly want to say thank Chief O'Brien and Chief Dubois. And if they could forward that on to the first responders who are truly also, you know, in the thick of things here and keeping us safe. This, as everyone knows, this past weekend, we hit a grim milestone, and it is not something to be overlooked. And so I just want to thank everybody for their effort, and on behalf of the residents and myself, and particularly my family, I thank you.
Thank you, Councilor O'Brien. Representative Cusack.
Thank you, Madam President, through you to the members. Yeah, I don't want to reiterate too much of what my colleagues in the Senate talked about. We continue to legislate remotely. This past week in the House, we did an IT bond bill, which includes critical funds to expand telehealth, which is, you know, for the foreseeable future here to stay. Remote learning, remote work, and other critical IT infrastructure upgrades. There's several restaurant bills. Senator Timothy mentioned one similar bill in the House, which would bypass the ABCC and leave the decision of outdoor seating and expansion of liquor licenses up to the local governing board, which is a particular note to Clerk Casey. And we'll keep them abreast of anything happen there. We're also got a bill to waive all interest and penalties for late payments of meals taxes. We continue to work with the restaurant groups. You know, they're going to be opening probably in a later phase. And as Mayor Kokoris spoke about, talking to the restaurants as well, they don't see it really being worth opening until it's 100% capacity, unless they get some relief on the outdoor seating. In terms of nursing homes, there's several bills going back and forth in the legislature on expanding the required data reported to the state so we can get a more accurate picture and a complete picture, including stuff just, you know, you think is basic, but there is no law that the nursing homes have to notify a family member that their loved one has tested positive for COVID. Most nursing homes are, but like in any industry, there are the bad actors who are trying to keep numbers low, not look bad. So we're working diligently on that. The senators also mentioned the $1.6 billion supplemental budget, which is currently in the House. We're doing our due diligence on that. The governor, when he filed it, said it's going to be reimbursable. Then that changed to should be reimbursable. So before we commit to spending $1.6 billion while revenues are sinking, we want to make sure that we are going to get this money back from the feds and FEMA. And in terms of FEMA, it's not a guaranteed 100% reimbursement. I was in the mayor's office in 2010 when we had the historic floods, and that was a 75% reimbursement from FEMA for our costs. So we are dotting the I's, crossing the T's to make sure that we can get as much of this money recouped as possible before we commit to it. In terms of revenue, as you know, I am the chair of the Joint Committee of Revenue in the House, and Senator Timothy spoke to it. We are now using, since our last meeting, it was about a $4 billion projection of loss. We are now using a floor of about $6 billion in lost revenue going forward. And what's important to note of a $44 billion budget, so much of that budget is mandated required spending, especially in terms of healthcare. So where we can recoup and save this money is a lot smaller than just a $44 billion budget. It's probably a lot closer to the low 20 billions where we can recoup. But we're also identifying areas of savings, and some of the money that the governor has already released has come through these savings, especially in particular mass health, where elective surgery is just starting to ramp up now. But in those months we didn't have elective surgeries and other treatments, there were cost savings realized. So we're diligently going through the budget process. We still don't have a hard timeline of when we're going to do a budget. We're hoping to have one done by the end of June, but that really hinges on our ability to come in and meet in person. Last year's budget, there was over 1,000 amendments in the House. There might still be amendments this year, but earmarks are not going to really be something you see in this budget just because of the loss of revenue. And then never mind measuring the loss of revenue, now that we're in phase one, really seeing every 2 weeks we get updates from the Department of Revenue on the mid-month and then end-of-month numbers of what the recovery is really going to look like and what this ramp up is going to see in terms of revenue. To that end, the Speaker of the House, Robert DeLeo, also announced a new Commonwealth Resilience and Recovery Special Committee is going to be taking shape in the House in the next couple of weeks, which I will serve on in my capacity as Revenue Chair, to identify areas where we can help the recovery, but also make sure if something like this happens again, or if there's a surge again in the fall, that we are much better prepared than we have been when this first hit back in March. Other than that, you know, they talked about the unemployment. PUA is really taking effect now for people who have exacerbated or exhausted their unemployment. I've gotten a lot of emails just in the past 48 hours on that. So if you're talking to anyone concerned about running out, we're also expanding at the state level, but the federal CARES Act has kicked in finally to help those people. So we continue to, you know, work diligently day and night, just as you all are, to get through this and hopefully into a recovery and a long-term recovery where we're not shutting down again. And the phases are important. They're frustrating. I get it. There's a lot of frustration out there, but all you have to do is look what's happening in around the country where they have reopened and now they're experiencing a surge again. And we desperately want to, prevent that. In a particular note, we're still the third highest state for the rate of infection in the country, behind New York and then New Jersey. So being mindful of all that, we're here to help as always and continue to work at the state level to provide the resources. And going forward, working with the budget you all have in front of you, but really hoping that the Fed step up and help fill some of this at least $6 billion hole, so we don't have to resort to drastic measures like a local aid cut.
Thank you, Representative Cusack. Any councilors have any questions for our state legislatures? Okay, seeing none. Mayor Kokoros or Director McGrath, anything else you want to add on the whole issue of COVID?
I would just say that, as long as people keep following the right protocols and social distancing, wearing masks, it's going to make all the difference in the world. So I appreciate everything that everyone has done, because it isn't us. I mean, we've set the rules as best we can, as well as our legislators and governor and lieutenant governor, but it's really the residents of our town that have made this happen and made us have this decline in new cases. So all I could say is thank you to them and just keep it up.
Thank you, Mayor Kokoros. Yeah, and thank you to you and Director McGrath, to all your staff and the nurses. And I know we have Dr. Frank Hackett with us as well, and the school nurses have joined in the contact tracing. So I appreciate all that. And to our state legislators, thank you again for joining us. I appreciate it. I know you're all busy with the many communities that you serve, but we always appreciate your advocacy and support for Greentree. Not only with COVID, but with our budget. We'll be looking at the capital budget tonight, and next week is our annual town meeting. So we'll extend the invitation to you to join as well, but I know you have several meetings. So we appreciate all the time you can give us. You're welcome to stay on, or you can go about, I know you have other meetings and things to attend to. But with that, we're going to move on to the approval of the minutes. Of March 4th. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of March 4th, 2020?
So moved, Madam President.
It's been a motion made by Councilor Ringa, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, is there a roll call?
Councilor Barica.
Yes.
Councilor Connors.
Aye.
Councilor Flaherty.
Yes.
Councilor Hume.
Aye.
Councilor Mackin.
Aye.
Councilor O'Brien.
Aye.
Councilor Ringus.
Aye.
Councilor Ryan.
Aye.
Councilor Sasha.
Yes.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
That is unanimous. Thank you all. Moving on to the approval of minutes of April 7th, 2020. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved, Madam President.
Second.
There's been a motion made by Councillor Ringa, seconded by Councillor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, can we have a roll call, please?
Councilor Berica,
Yes.
Councilor Connors,
Aye.
Councilor Flaherty,
Yes.
Councilor Hume,
Aye.
Councilor Mackin,
Aye.
Councilor O'Brien,
Aye.
Councilor Ringus,
Aye.
Councilor Ryan,
Aye.
Councilor Sasha,
Yes.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
That is unanimous. Thank you. Moving on to old business, item 20027, the mayor. Request to approve the fiscal year 2020 capital plan or take up any action relative thereto. This is a public hearing. Is there a motion to open that public hearing?
So moved, Madam President. Second.
There's been a motion made by Councilor Ringus, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, a roll call, please.
Councilor Berica,
Yes.
Councilor Connors,
Aye.
Councilor Flaherty,
Yes.
Councilor Hume,
Aye.
Councilor Mackin,
Aye.
Councilor O'Brien,
Aye.
Councilor Ringus,
Aye.
Councilor Ryan,
Aye.
Councilor Sasha,
Yes.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
That is unanimous. Thank you. So with that, I will refer to the Chairwoman of Ways and Means, Councilor Berica, for your recommendation.
Thank you so much, Madam President. The Ways and Means Committee met over 2 nights last week to review the town's capital plan. For the benefit of the residents who are tuned in, I want to let you know the capital budget allows for large expenditures that cannot be supported during a single budget year. The capital planning process focuses on critical long-term needs that help us achieve townwide goals and that promote our residents' health, safety, and well-being. The Ways and Means Committee had the opportunity to question the department heads and the town's finance director about their long-term priorities and the financial outlay required for their recommended projects. And in addition to receiving our town auditor's written report, we also received his assessment of the required funding to complete the requested projects. After all that review, I am pleased to let you know the committee is sending all the capital plan motions, so that's 20027, 028, 029, and 030, to the full council with unanimous favorable recommendations.
Thank you, Councilor Berica. I just want to recognize everybody who is in attendance with us tonight through the mayor's office. I know the budget is a huge process, as well as the capital budget, which this starts last year. It's always a tremendous amount of work. And now with the whole COVID-19, with plans constantly change, funding constantly change. So I thank Mayor Kokoros and all the staff, but especially to Councilor Berica and members of the Ways and Means Committee. Those members are the Chairwoman, Councilor Berica, Councilor Flaherty, Councilor Sasha, Councilor Connors, and Councilor Ryan, who all served on Ways and Means. But directors with the town who are here, we have DPW Director Jim Arsenal, I believe, is here. Director of Municipal License and Inspections, who we heard from, Mary Beth McGrath. Director of Planning and Development, Christine Stickney. Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Frank Hackett. I don't believe the Library Director is here, but that is Terry Stiano. Police Chief Mark Dubois is here, along with Sergeant Cody Chambers, Fire Chief Jimmy O'Brien, our town clerk Jim Casey, Director of Parks and Recreation Nelson Chin. I'm sorry if I'm missing somebody. It's not everything's, the list in the screen is not fitting on. School Committee Chair Tom Devon and School Committee Member George Kokoros are also with us tonight, as well as Councilor Berica mentioned, our internal auditor, Sean McGoldrick. So thank you all for being in attendance here tonight, but as well as many of the Ways and Means member, and again for all that. So if Solicitor Taub, if you or anybody else from the Mayor's Department would like to comment on 20027, I will
Thank
turn
you,
it over to
Madam. Oh, Madam President, I just would note also with me is Finance Director Ed Spellman here in the room. I know you can't-
Ed, how could I forget Ed Spellman? He was at the top of my list. Sorry, Ed.
And I would just turn it over to the mayor with your permission. Thank you.
Certainly. Mayor Kokoros.
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to first say that before I get into the capital plan, one of the individuals that was very helpful over the last 18 years in regards to our road programs. And I can remember back many, many years ago as a selectman, he helped Councilor Ryan and I come up with some plans to do a lot of different road repairs and get a roads program started. That was Bob Campbell. So Bob Campbell is retired, and I just want to acknowledge his hard work for the town of Braintree and the great work that he has done. It's going to be very difficult to replace him, but I will say that you know, he did a lot of great things. And when you look at what we were able to accomplish, Councilor Ryan and I were selectmen, what Mayor Sullivan was able to do with his 100 Roads program, a lot of it really fell back on Bob Campbell. So he was able to leave his mark here in Braintree, and I wish him the best of luck on his new venture. As far as the capital plan, we had many meetings to discuss it, and there was a number of requests that go in every year. We could probably have a couple $100 million worth of things that could be done, but we need to prioritize and do things that fall within our ability to finance and pay for them. So, you know, as you look through, there's a good mixture of different areas and departments within our town government. Obviously, we had a lot of conversations the past couple of years about the fire department and the need for headquarters to be renovated. And we have one of the largest pieces there, 3.5 million, which will be added to the additional money that was put aside last year or the year before, over $1 million or $1.3 million. So I'm confident that we will be able to move forward with some renovations at the much needed renovations at headquarters. And that's something that I think many councilors are aware of. I think all the councils are aware of. As far as police, you know, they have, you know, when they look at what their needs are, obviously there's the replacement of cruisers. That's on a regular basis. So we continue to do that. But their records management system was junk and no longer able to be utilized and supported, et cetera. And tasers were something that we've been looking to implement for quite some time. And Chief, you're not going to practice with one on me. I'm just telling you ahead of time, Chief Du Bois. But as far as ADA compliance, we have $100,000 there. I mean, obviously, we all know that we need to work harder to reach our ADA compliance. And once again, you know, the schools, we made sure that we had $1 million to go in and do a lot of the repair work to some areas that I had seen when I did my tours of boiler rooms and things of that nature. And I know that Dr. Hackett has a great plan through Ed Cronin to make sure that they utilize this money efficiently and get some great capital repairs done to the schools. I would say that, you know, as far as the road work projects, it's road and infrastructure that's really important. And when you look at the resurfacing and the road work that's being done, there's quite a bit of money being spent on roads, as we've continued to do, in ADA compliance, sidewalk work. But if you look at the combination of the road underbelly work as well as stormwater work, and you add all of those things together, you know, we invest in our roads. And, you know, fortunately, the plan that was put in place to make sure that the infrastructure is fixed first and then the road is paved. The only people that don't comply with this are the gas company, but we'll deal with them as things come along. But we as a town are very good at making sure that we have water pressure issues fixed in areas before we pave the roads. Something that we're very coordinated on. And I would say that what what really is, one of the most important things here, it's a $119,000 item, but it's the Elder Affairs parking lot. And everyone that has been to the Elder Affairs building, formerly called the Council on Aging, we know that the parking lot is insufficient, and we know that it needs to be repaved, and we know that we need to expand it. And I had to make a choice this year. Do we repave Town Hall parking lot, or do we do this project? I chose this project because of how important it is. And it's, it's important for us to make sure that our elders know that we care about them. And I know that Shamila does such a great job over there, and I'm excited to have this parking lot done. It's going to make a huge difference. And I go to a lot of events over there when we're open, and it's just such a wonderful place. So that's one of the items on here that, although it's not, $3 million or $1.8 million, but it is $119,000 that is extremely well spent. But overall, I think that, we're working on, recreation, ADA and recreation issues, a new sweeper. These are all needs, not wants. Library computer replacement, water and sewer, all of the items in water and sewer and stormwater. These are all things that are absolutely necessary. So we vetted through them, and we made sure that we spent what money we had wisely on the things that were absolutely necessary. So, just as far as the cost, in the past, we've used a lot of free cash. Not so much this year. We're looking at essentially $254,000 out of free cash, whereas in some years we used $1 million, $1,700,000. And those are part of the reasons why our free cash wasn't as high as it was in the past, but it was money well spent. But I think that when you look at the net of what our debt service is and how small it is compared to the overall total budget, I think it's a very conservative approach to maintain our roads, pave our roads, do the infrastructure work, and take care of all of the other items that are absolute needs at this point and not wants. So with that, I would just, if you have any questions for my staff or myself, I would ask for your support of this capital plan. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Mayor Kokoros. I just also want to mention a couple other your department heads, directors who are in attendance. As you mentioned, Director of Elder Affairs, Shamila Biswa, Director of Human Resources, Karen Shanley, and Kelly Phelan with the Conservation Planner. Mayor Kokoros, to your point about Elder Affairs, with the addition to the Elder Affairs building, there was always a packed parking lot at that facility. But with the addition of the much needed building, there's even more people. You cannot drive by that building without seeing cars overflowing onto the field and into the street. So I agree with you and support you that that is a much needed improvement in the town to allow for all those to safely access the programming with the paved parking lot. So Shamila, I'm happy you're here tonight, and hopefully the capital budget's going to go through. One thing I would like to add, I know these capital improvements are all needs, and we have about $6.8 million in capital, total capital plan we're going to approve tonight. With such the uneasiness of the revenue flow with the state and even here at our own community, I know you and your staff have been very conservative, Mayor Kokoros, on your numbers, and I know we had this conversation. If at all possible, if down the road where we do recognize additional revenue shortfalls that we didn't project for, if we could look at the capital plan to maybe reduce in any way, as opposed to looking at staff reduction. I hope we could do that. I know this is, so much time has been spent on this, and I do appreciate that. And no easy decisions were made, because there is always a lot longer list, and we're fortunate in Braintree because we have so many assets and so many towns, so many departments rather throughout the town, which is evidenced by all the department heads being here tonight and advocating for their departments and showing their support. So I thank you all for being here in attendance. With that, I'll ask if there's any other councils who want to add anything, or the mayor's office rather. Seeing none. Okay, we are in a public hearing. Anybody who is in attendance, not on the panel, so those viewing or listening at home, if you would like to talk, raise your hand and I will call on you. I see there's only one person who's on a phone. I'm going to give you a phone number right now. So if anytime during any public hearing throughout the night you want to talk, you can call into this number. It's 339-987-2726. You can either call or text that number and give us your name and let us know that you will talk. That number goes to our clerk, the council, Sue Cimino. But I don't see anybody in attendance who would like to speak, so I will turn it back over to the council. Is there anybody else? One last time. Okay, seeing none. Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
Madam President, motion to close the public hearing?
So moved. Second.
There's been a motion made by Councilor Ringa, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, a roll call please to close the public hearing.
Council Barica,
Yes.
Council Connors,
Aye.
Council Flaherty,
Yes.
Council Hume,
Aye.
Council Mackin,
Yay.
Council O'Brien,
Aye.
Council Ringus,
Aye.
Council Ryan,
Aye.
Council Sasha.
Yes.
It's 9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Cimino. That is unanimous. Is there a motion for order 20027? Council Ringus.
Yes, Madam President, I would make the motion to approve the fiscal year 2020 capital plan as submitted.
There's been a motion made. Is there a second? It's been a motion made by Councilor Ringus, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call, please.
Council Barica,
Yes.
Council Connors,
Aye.
Council Flaherty,
Yes.
Council Hume,
Aye.
Council Mackin,
Aye.
Council O'Brien,
Aye.
Council Ringus,
Aye.
Council Ryan,
Aye.
Council Sasha.
Yes.
That's 9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Cimino. That is unanimous. Moving on to 20028, Mayor, request for appropriation. Fiscal year 2020, the general fund capital budget, or take up any action relative thereto. Is there a motion to open the public hearing on order 20028?
So moved, Madam President.
Second.
There's been a motion made by Councilor Ringus, seconded by Councilor Ryan to open the public hearing. Clerk Cimino, roll call, please.
Council Barica,
Yes.
Council Connors,
Aye.
Council Flaherty,
Yes.
Council Hume,
Aye.
Council Mackin,
Aye.
Council O'Brien,
Aye.
Council Ringus,
Aye.
Council Ryan,
Aye.
Council Sasha.
Yes.
That's 9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Cimino. Okay, that is unanimous. I will refer to the Chairwoman on Ways and Means, Council Barica, for your recommendation to the full council.
Thank you, Madam President. As stated, this comes to the full council with a unanimous favorable recommendation from the Committee of Ways and Means.
Thank you, Council Barica. Any member of the council or wish to speak, or the mayor's office? Solicitor Taub, anybody from the mayor's office like to speak?
Is this a supplemental?
This is on 20028, the general fund capital budget.
All right, I don't have it. Thank you.
Madam President, this is the first of 3 motions before the full council this evening with regards to the appropriation to fund the capital plan. And so this motion covers the bonding from the general fund for a variety of the projects which are outlined on the within the order itself, totaling $6,813,000.
Thank you, Solicitor Todd. Councillor O'Brien.
Let me unmute. Thank you very much. So I have a couple of questions kind of at a high level. The first one was capital plan, so I didn't find it necessary to ask at that point. But I think I'm going to kind of go back and forth. But let me focus first because we're really I'm looking at the Powers and Sullivan management letter. And this is something that has come up numerous times, so we might need the Director of Municipal Finance to help us with this answer. But the reporting, let me see what it's called, documentation of internal controls. Everybody there? Okay, documentation of internal controls has come up several times, I believe, in the past letters from these guys. And this one here has a particular reference to the COSO, which is a methodology that apparently they are almost, you know, maybe it's hope and a prayer that we use for our framework of reporting. But management's response, okay, so they recommend management follow.
It was a waste of an hour.
Pardon?
No, she did.
Oh, somebody's on mute.
All right. So they recommend using this COSO framework, but we respond that management agrees with this comment and we have documented our internal control policies. I know that our auditors, our internal auditors, have been working closely with staff on internal control policies. If I could just get a feel, are we going to go with the COSO? Are we ignoring this recommendation? If I could get a response.
I'm just gonna, Madam President, if I may turn the computer over to Finance Director Ed Spellman.
Certainly. Director Spellman.
Good evening.
See, we see you. How are you?
Good, and you?
Good, thank you for being here.
With regard to the management letter comment and specifically dealing with COSO, we are working with the town's auditors, Sean McGoldrick and Dan Sullivan, and we are responding to that. We are doing some additional specific work on certain COSO requirements. We had got input from our auditors, Powers and Sullivan, and we're moving forward. I believe if Sean wants to speak, I believe he's been doing some work in the last few weeks, or maybe over the last few months, specifically with the school department with regards to some additional documentation that's required for the COSO.
Through the president, if I may.
Absolutely, go ahead, Sean.
Thank you, Shannon, and thank you, Ed. Councilor O'Brien, yeah, this is a large undertaking to document COSO and the elements and principles that go into it. So starting, I think about 2 years ago now, we started with a COSO document, which also has a sub-document for fraud risk. We presented both of those to the partner, Mike Mulligan and his team during the fiscal year 19 audit. I think he was, and Ed, you can chime in if I'm wrong, I think they were fairly pleased with the progress and where we're at, but they do want us to tighten a few things up. And that does include the federal grant component to COSO. So I have been back and forth with the school, including Ed Cronin and Lisa Fruley. I know I spoke to Lisa, the other day, and with everything going on, it's been hard to get some FaceTime and some meeting time, but we do have a date penciled in for June to hopefully squash that document, get it done by June 30th, so that come 6/30/20, when that ends for fiscal year 20, we can give that to PNS and hopefully get that completely removed from the management letter.
Okay, thank you. Could I ask?
Councilor O'Brien, does that answer your?
Yes, could I ask one more question of?
Sure, go ahead.
Again, Ed, because this is coming from a high-level document which addresses all of the sub-items here, plan, general fund, et cetera, but it talks about the various things, the initiatives that have been taken to reduce the budget, knowing that with the COVID situation, we don't really know what the budget's going to look like. Although it looks to me like the first 6 months revenue is coming in on par, so that's a good thing. But One of the things that was used, aside from 50% reduced meals tax, no, I'm sorry, 50% reduction in hotel motel, totally makes sense. 25 in meals tax, maybe I think might be a little shy, but then 75% on interest income. It seems to me like the rates have been pretty steady all across the board. What's the 75% target for, if you wouldn't mind? Thank you, Madam President.
Excuse me, through the
Go ahead,
president.
Director Spellman. Yep, go ahead.
The interest rates are dropping. We're seeing them come down. As the Federal Reserve dropped the rates, we're going to see a corresponding drop in the interest income we're going to earn. So we anticipate the rates coming down going forward. You're correct for the 6 months. The revenue report that you have shows us right on track with our general fund revenues, specifically the hotel and meals tax and interest income for the 6 months ended December 31, 19.
Okay, one last thing, if I could, Madam
Continue, Councilor O'Brien.
You know what? I think I answered that on my own. All right, for this one, I'm all set. Thank you. Forget it. Thank you.
Any other councilor wish to speak on item 20028? No? Okay, seeing none. Anybody from the public wish to speak at the public hearing on 20028, the general fund capital budget? Okay, seeing none. Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved, Madam President.
Second.
There's been a motion made to close the public hearing by Councilor Ringa, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, a roll call, please.
Council Berica,
Yes.
Council Connors,
Aye.
Council Flaherty,
Yes.
Councilor Hume,
Aye.
Councilor Mackin,
Aye.
Councilor O'Brien,
Aye.
Councilor Ringus,
Aye.
Councilor Ryan,
Aye.
Councilor Sasha.
Yes.
That's 9 in favor, 0 opposed.
That is unanimous. Thank you, Clerk Cimino. Is there a motion for order 20028? Councilor Ringus.
Yes, Madam President, I would move that the town of Braintree appropriates the sum of $6,813,000 to pay the costs of the following capital projects, all under the authorizing statute, Chapter 44, Section 7, Section 1. That being police records management in the amount of $238,000, a fire station renovation in the amount of $3,500,000, school technology in the amount of $350,000, school paving and landscaping in the amount of $156,000, school plumbing and HVAC in the amount of $100,000, Eldar affairs paving in the amount of $119,000, roadway resurfacing in the amount of $1,550,000, ADA sidewalk repairs in the amount of $150,000, DPW facilities and HVAC in the amount of $250,000, a DPW cemetery expansion in the amount of $150,000, and a DPW highway street sweeper in the amount of $250,000. That for the payment of all other costs incidental and related thereto. Also, that these amounts indicated above for each project are estimates, and the mayor may allocate more funds to any one or more of such projects and less to others, so long as in the judgment of the mayor, each of the projects described above can be completed within the total appropriation made by this order. That to meet this appropriation, the treasurer, with the approval of the mayor, is authorized to borrow said amount under and pursuant to the authorizing statutes described above or pursuant to any other enabling authority, and to issue bonds or notes of the town therefore. Any premium received by the town upon the sale of any bonds or notes approved by this order, less any premium applied to the payment of the cost of the issuance of such bonds or notes, may be applied to the payment of costs approved by this order in accordance with Chapter 44, Section 20 of the general laws, thereby reducing the amount to be borrowed to pay such costs by a like amount.
There's been a motion made by Councilor Ringus,
Second.
seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Council Barica,
Yes.
Councilor Connors,
Aye.
Council Flaherty,
Yes.
Councilor Hume,
Aye.
Councilor Mackin,
Aye.
Councilor O'Brien,
Aye.
Councilor Ringus,
Aye.
Councilor Ryan,
Aye.
Councilor Sasha.
Yes.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
That is unanimous. Thank you, Clerk Cimino. Moving on to item 20029, the mayor request for appropriation fiscal year 2020 enterprise funds capital budget or take up any action relative thereto. This is a public hearing. Is there a motion to open the public hearing for order 20029?
So moved, Madam President.
Second.
There's been a motion to open the public hearing by Councilor Ringa, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Can we have a roll call vote, Clerk Cimino?
Council Barica,
Yes.
Councilor Connors,
Aye.
Councilor Flaherty,
Yes.
Councilor Hume,
Aye.
Councilor Mackin,
Yes.
Councilor O'Brien,
Aye.
Councilor Ringus,
Aye.
Councilor Ryan, Councilor Ryan. See there.
He is. Oh. I wonder if his internet maybe. Councilor Ryan. His picture looks frozen. We may have lost him.
You may be signing on somewhere else. Want to wait a minute or?
Sure.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Thank you. Councilor Sasha,
Yes.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Councilor Ryan and Clerk Cimino. That is unanimous. And at this time, I will refer to the Chairwoman of Ways and Means, Council Barica, for her recommendation to the full council.
Thank you, President Hume. As stated, this motion comes to the full council with a unanimous favorable recommendation from the Committee of Ways and Means.
Thank you, Council Barica. Anybody from the mayor's office wish to speak on order 20029?
Thank you, Madam President. Like the order before and the one to follow, this request relates to appropriation of funds for our 2 capital projects that relate to our enterprise funds, specifically the $3 million in borrowing for the townwide distribution system enhancement and the $8.7 million in borrowing for the town's share of additional costs related to the new Tri-Town Regional Treatment Plant being constructed in conjunction with Randolph and Holbrook.
Thank you, Solicitor Taub. Any other councilors wish to speak on this order? Seeing none. Anybody from the public wish to speak on this? Nobody from the public. Okay. Any other councilor at this stage? Okay, do we have a motion to close the public hearing
So moved, Madam
on
President.
order 20029?
Yes, Mr. President.
There's been a motion to close the public hearing by Councilor Ringa, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call, please.
Council Barica,
Yes.
Councilor Connors,
Aye.
Council Flaherty,
Yes.
Councilor Hume,
Aye.
Councilor Mackin,
Aye.
Councilor O'Brien,
Aye.
Councilor Ringus,
Aye.
Councilor Ryan,
Aye.
Councilor Sasha.
Yes.
It's 9 in favor, 0 opposed.
That's unanimous. Thank you, Clerk Cimino. Is there a motion for order 20029?
Yes, Madam President, I would move that the town of Braintree appropriate the sum of $3 million to pay costs of townwide water distribution system improvements and for the payment of all other costs incidental and related thereto. And that to meet this appropriation, the treasurer, with the approval of the mayor, is authorized to borrow said amount under and pursuant to Chapter 44, Section 8 of the general laws, or pursuant to any other enabling authority, and to issue bonds or notes of the town therefore. Any premium received by the town upon the sale of any bonds or notes approved by this order, less any such premium applied to the payment of the costs of issuance of such bonds or notes may be applied to the payment of costs approved by this order in accordance with Chapter 44, Section 20 of the general laws, thereby reducing the amount authorized to be borrowed to pay such costs by a like amount.
Second.
There's been a motion by Councilor Ringa, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call, please.
Council Berica,
Yes.
Council Connors,
Aye.
Council Flaherty,
Yes.
Councilor Hume,
Aye.
Councilor Mackin,
Yes.
Councilor O'Brien,
Aye.
Councilor Ringus,
Aye.
Councilor Ryan,
Aye.
Councilor Sasha.
Yes.
That's 9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Okay, moving on to item 20030. The
Nope.
mayor,
We have one more item on 29.
I thought we did. Okay, I do have that. Yes. Mayor, request for appropriation fiscal year 2020 enterprise funds capital budget or take up any action relative thereto.
Madam President, I would move
Councilor
on
Ringus.
Part 2 of Order 20029, that the town of Braintree appropriate $8,700,000 to pay the town's share of the costs of designing, constructing, equipping, and furnishing the Tri-Town Water Treatment Plant, which is to be undertaken with the towns of Randolph and Holbrook, and for the payment of all costs incidental and related thereto, which amount shall be expended in addition to all other amounts previously appropriated by the town for this project. To meet this appropriation, the treasurer, with the approval of the mayor, is authorized to borrow said amount under and pursuant to GL Chapter 44, Section 7, Subsection 1, Section 8, Subsection 4, or pursuant to any other enabling authority, and issue bonds or notes of the town therefore. The amount authorized to be borrowed by this order shall be reduced to the extent of any grants received by the town on account of this project. All or any portion of the amount authorized to be borrowed by this order may be obtained through the Massachusetts Clean Water Trust. Any premium received by the town upon the sale of any bonds or notes approved by this order, less any such premium applied to the payment of the cost of issuance of such bonds or notes, may be applied to the payment of costs approved by this order in accordance with GL Chapter 44, Section 20 of the general laws, thereby reducing the amount authorized to be borrowed to pay such costs by a like amount.
Second.
A motion made by Councilor Ringa, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call, please.
Council Berica,
Yes.
Council Connors,
Aye.
Council Flaherty,
Yes.
Councilor Hume,
Aye.
Councilor Mackin,
Aye.
Councilor O'Brien,
Aye.
Councilor Ringus,
Aye.
Councilor Ryan,
Aye.
Councilor Sasha.
Yes.
That's 9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Unanimous. Thank you, Clerk Cimino. Now we will move on to item 20030. The mayor request for appropriation fiscal year 2020, the capital budget, other available funds, or take up any action relative thereto. This is also a public hearing. Is there a motion to open the public hearing on order 20030?
So moved, Madam President.
Second.
There's been a motion to open the public hearing by Councilor Ringa, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call, please.
Council Berica,
Yes.
Council Connors,
Aye.
Council Flaherty,
Yes.
Councilor Hume,
Aye.
Council Mackin,
Aye.
Council O'Brien,
Aye.
Council Ringus,
Aye.
Council Ryan,
Aye.
Council Sasha.
Yes.
That's 9 in favor, 0 opposed.
9. Thank you, Clerk Cimino. Again, I will refer to the Chairwoman of Ways and Means, Council Berica, for her recommendation to the full council.
Thank you, President Hume. As stated, this too comes to the full council with a unanimous favorable recommendation from the Committee of Ways and Means.
Thank you, Council Berica. Does anybody from the mayor's office wish to speak on order 20030?
Thank you, Madam President. This final motion with regards to the FY20 capital plan covers projects to be funded from a variety of sources, including $254,070 from free cash, $351,593 from water sewer retained earnings, $95,523 in stormwater retained earnings, $400,331 from the bond premium account, and $265,000 from the Capital Building Stabilization Fund to fund a variety of projects as previously discussed in 20027, voted on earlier this evening.
Thank you, Solicitor Taub. Councillor Sasha.
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to take a second to say for anybody who's listening, because it hasn't come up yet, that in the Ways and Means Committee meetings, we went through every of those revenue projections, and we went through every item in the capital plan. And there is so much at this point that is completely unknown as far as revenue and state aid and federal aid. And one thing I just wanted to point out is that the mayor's office has committed to coming back to the Ways and Means Committee in 5 or 6 months with an update where everything stands in terms of how we're doing with expenses. We're going to have some audits done from the ESCO program. There's going to be a lot more information. And I just wanted to point that out to anybody that's listening that did not choose to sit through all of those other meetings, that there is a lot more information coming that will help us make better decisions. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Sasha. That's very true. The general public doesn't always see all the work that goes into the budget, whether it be the capital or the operating through the Ways and Means. So again, thank you to you and all the members of Ways and Means for all the work and the department heads. Any other council wish to speak on this order? Seeing none, anybody from the general public wish to speak on this matter? Okay, seeing none. Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved, Madam President.
Second.
There's been a motion to close the public hearing by Council Ringa, seconded by Council Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call, please.
Council Berica,
Yes.
Council Connors,
Aye.
Council Flaherty,
Yes.
Council Hume,
Aye.
Council Mackin.
Aye.
Council O'Brien,
Aye.
Council Ringus,
Aye.
Council Ryan,
Aye.
Council Sasha.
Yes.
That's 9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Cimino. Is there a motion for order 20030? Council Ringus.
There is, and I would just note that these are going to be individual motions that I believe have to be acted on accordingly. So first, I would move that the sum of $20,000 be transferred from the bond premium account for the purchase of town-wide technology.
Second.
There's been a motion made by Council Ringus, seconded by Council Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call, please.
Council Berica,
Yes.
Council Connors,
Aye.
Council Flaherty,
Yes.
Council Hume,
Aye.
Council Mackin,
Yes.
Council O'Brien,
Aye.
Council Ringus,
Aye.
Council Ryan,
Aye.
Council Sasha.
Yes.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Cimino.
Madam President, I would move that the sum of $32,106 be transferred from the bond premium account for the purchase of a town-wide radio system migration.
Second.
There's been a motion made by Council Ringus, seconded by Council Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call, please.
Council Berica,
Yes.
Council Connors,
Aye.
Council Flaherty,
Yes.
Council Hume,
Aye.
Council Mackin,
Aye.
Council O'Brien,
Aye.
Council Ringus,
Aye.
Council Ryan,
Aye.
Council Sasha.
Yes.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Cimino. Council Ringus.
Thank you, Madam President. I would move that the sum of $10,000 be transferred from fiscal year 2019 certified free cash for paying the town match for CMZ grant to address erosion bank at Watson Park flood protection.
Second.
There's been a motion made by Council Ringus, seconded by Council Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call, please.
Council Berica,
Yes.
Council Connors,
Aye.
Council Flaherty,
Yes.
Council Hume,
Aye.
Council Mackin,
Aye.
Council O'Brien,
Aye.
Council Ringus,
Aye.
Council Ryan,
Aye.
Council Sasha.
Yes.
That's 9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Cimino. Council Ringus.
I would move as to the police department that the sum of $200,000 be transferred from bond to premium account for the purchase of police vehicles.
Second.
There's been a motion made by Councilor Ringa, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call, please.
Council Berica,
Yes.
Council Connors,
Aye.
Council Flaherty,
Yes.
Council Hume,
Aye.
Council Mackin,
Aye.
Council O'Brien,
Aye.
Council Ringus,
Aye.
Council Ryan,
Aye.
Council Sasha.
Yes.
That's 9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Cimino. Councilor Ringus.
As to the police department as well, I would move that the sum of $43,225 be transferred to the bond premium account for the purchase of tasers.
Second.
There's been a motion made by Councilor Ringus, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call, please.
Council Berica,
Yes.
Council Connors,
Aye.
Council Flaherty,
Yes.
Council Hume,
Aye.
Council Mackin,
Aye.
Council O'Brien,
Aye.
Council Ringus,
Aye.
Council Ryan,
Aye.
Council Sasha.
Yes.
That's 9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Cimino. Councilor Ringus.
Madam President, under Municipal License and Inspection Department, I would move that the sum of $100,000 be transferred from the Building Capital Stabilization Fund for the purpose of ADA compliance issues.
Second.
There's been a motion made by Councilor Ringus, seconded by Councilor Ryan.
Council Berica,
Yes.
Council Connors,
Aye.
Council Flaherty,
Yes.
Council Hume,
Aye.
Council Mackin,
Yes.
Council O'Brien,
Aye.
Council Ringus,
Aye.
Council Ryan,
Aye.
Council Sasha.
Yes.
That's 9 in favor, 0 opposed.
That is unanimous. Thank you, Clerk Cimino. Councilor Ringus.
Under the school department, Madam President, I would move that the sum of $244,070 be transferred from fiscal year 2019 certified free cash for paying the ESCO projects for principal and interest expense.
Second.
There's been a motion made by Councilor Ringus, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call, please.
Council Berica,
Yes.
Council Connors,
Aye.
Council Flaherty,
Yes.
Council Hume,
Aye.
Council Mackin,
Yes.
Council O'Brien,
Aye.
Council Ringus,
Aye.
Council Ryan,
Aye.
Council Sasha.
Yes.
That's 9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. Moving on, Councilor Ringus.
Thank you, Madam President. I would also move under the school department that the sum of $100,000 be transferred from the bond premium account for the purchasing of Muni's ERP software system.
Second.
Been a motion made by Councilor Ringus, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call, please.
Council Berica,
Yes.
Council Connors,
Aye.
Council Flaherty,
Yes.
Council Hume,
Aye.
Council Mackin,
Yes.
Council O'Brien,
Aye.
Council Ringus,
Aye.
Council Ryan,
Aye.
Council Sasha.
Yes.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Cimino. Councilor Ringus.
Under the school department, I would also move that the sum of $50,000 be transferred from the Building Capital Stabilization Fund for the purpose of school department masonry repairs.
Second.
There's been a motion made by Councilor Ringus, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call, please.
Council Berica,
Yes.
Council Connors,
Aye.
Council Flaherty,
Yes.
Council Hume,
Aye.
Council Mackin,
Aye.
Councilor O'Brien,
Aye.
Council Ringus,
Aye.
Council Ryan,
Aye.
Council Sasha.
Yes.
That's 9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Cimino. Councilor Ringus.
Under the DPW Highway Department, I would move that the sum of $15,000 be transferred from the Building Capital Stabilization Fund for the purpose of ADA pathways in the parks.
Second.
There's been a motion made by Councilor Ringus, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call, please.
Council Berica,
Yes.
Council Connors,
Aye.
Council Flaherty,
Yes.
Council Hume,
Aye.
Council Mackin,
Aye.
Council O'Brien,
Aye.
Council Ringus,
Aye.
Council Ryan,
Aye.
Council Sasha.
Yes.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Cimino. Councilor Ringus.
I would move on to DPW Recreation Department that the sum of $100,000 be transferred from the Building Capital Stabilization Fund for the purpose of ADA park and recreation issues.
Second.
There's been a motion made by Councilor Ringa, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call, please.
Councilor Berica,
Yes.
Councilor Connors,
Aye.
Councilor Flaherty,
Yes.
Councilor Hume,
Aye.
Councilor Mackin,
Aye.
Councilor O'Brien,
Aye.
Councilor Ringus,
Aye.
Councilor Ryan,
Aye.
Councilor Sasha,
Yes.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Cimino. Councilor Ringus.
Under the Library Department, I would move that the sum of $5,000 be transferred from the bond premium account for the purchasing of library computer replacement.
Second.
There's been a motion made by Councilor Ringus, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call, please.
Councilor Berica,
Yes.
Councilor Connors,
Aye.
Councilor Flaherty,
Yes.
Councilor Hume,
Aye.
Councilor Mackin,
Aye.
Councilor O'Brien,
Aye.
Councilor Ringus,
Aye.
Councilor Ryan,
Aye.
Councilor Sasha,
Yes.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Cimino. Moving on to the Water and Sewer Stormwater Enterprise Fund motions. Councilor Ringus.
Yes, I would move that the sum of $79,917 be transferred from fiscal year 2019 certified water sewer retained earnings for the purpose of purchasing vehicles for the meter division.
Second.
There's been a motion made by Councilor Ringus, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call, please.
Councilor Berica,
Yes.
Councilor Connors,
Aye.
Councilor Flaherty,
Yes.
Councilor Hume,
Aye.
Councilor Mackin,
Yes.
Councilor O'Brien,
Aye.
Councilor Ringus,
Aye.
Councilor Ryan,
Aye.
Councilor Sasha.
Yes.
That's 9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Councilor Ringus.
Under the Water Sewer Enterprise Fund, I would move that the sum of $271,676 be transferred from fiscal year 2019 certified water sewer retained earnings for the purpose of purchasing a 10-wheel dump truck with plow.
Second.
There's been a motion made by Councilor Ringus, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, a roll call vote, please.
Councilor Berica,
Yes.
Councilor Connors,
Aye.
Councilor Flaherty,
Yes.
Councilor Hume,
Aye.
Councilor Mackin,
Yes.
Councilor O'Brien,
Aye.
Councilor Ringus,
Aye.
Councilor Ryan,
Aye.
Councilor Sasha.
Yes.
That's 9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Councilor Ringus.
As to the Stormwater Water Enterprise Fund, I would move the sum of $25,523 be transferred from fiscal year 2019 certified stormwater retained earnings for the purpose of purchasing a four-wheel drive vehicle for inspectors.
Second.
There's been a motion made by Councilor Ringus, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call vote, please.
Councilor Berica,
Yes.
Councilor Connors,
Aye.
Councilor Flaherty,
Yes.
Councilor Hume,
Aye.
Councilor Mackin,
No.
Councilor O'Brien,
Aye.
Councilor Ringus,
Aye.
Councilor Ryan,
Aye.
Councilor Sasha.
Yes.
That's 8 in favor, 1 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Cimino. Councilor Ringus.
Under the Stormwater Enterprise Fund, I would move that the sum of $60,000 be transferred from fiscal year 2019 certified stormwater retained earnings for the purpose of catch basin cleaning by others.
Second.
There's been a motion made by Councilor Ringus, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call vote, please.
Councilor Berica,
Yes.
Councilor Connors,
Aye.
Councilor Flaherty,
Yes.
Councilor Hume,
Aye.
Councilor Mackin,
Aye.
Councilor O'Brien,
Aye.
Councilor Ringus,
Aye.
Councilor Ryan,
Aye.
Councilor Sasha.
Yes.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Cimino. Councillor Ringus.
Madam President, under the Stormwater Enterprise Fund, I would move that the sum of $10,000 be transferred from fiscal year 2019 certified stormwater retained earnings for the purpose of purchasing utility software.
Second.
There's been a motion made by Councillor Ringus, seconded by Councillor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call vote, please.
Councillor Barrett,
Yes.
Councillor Connors,
Aye.
Councillor Flaherty,
Yes.
Councillor Hume,
Aye.
Councillor Mackin,
Aye.
Councillor O'Brien,
Aye.
Councillor Ringus,
Aye.
Councillor Ryan,
Aye.
Councillor Sasha,
Yes.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Cimino. That is the last of it. Moving on to item 20041, the Mayor FY 2020 Supplemental Appropriation number 4, or take up any action relative thereto. This is a public hearing. Is there a motion to open the public hearing of order 20041?
So moved, Madam President.
Second.
There's been a motion made to open the public hearing by Councillor Ringus, seconded by Councillor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call vote, please.
Councillor Barrett,
Yes.
Councillor Connors,
Aye.
Councillor Flaherty,
Yes.
Councillor Hume,
Aye.
Councillor Mackin,
Yes.
Councillor O'Brien,
Aye.
Councillor Ringus,
Aye.
Councillor Ryan,
Aye.
Councillor Sasha,
Yes.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Cimino. I will refer to the Chairwoman of Committee on Ways and Means, Councilor Baraka, for her recommendation to the full council.
Thank you so much, President Hume. And to provide some context for the public members in attendance this evening. The bulk of this appropriation is to pay for a little over $1 million in police overtime incurred during this past fiscal year 2020. During the Ways and Means Committee's review of this appropriation, the police chief allowed that in addition to budgeting adjustments, which we will discuss next week, he is implementing a new strategy of deploying his officers that addressed the large supplemental funding request to cover overtime pay. The fire department also needs additional funds to cover approximately $500,000 in overtime expenses. The fire department is subject to minimum staffing requirements, so all absences must be filled on overtime to ensure adequate staffing at the stations. Additionally, this supplemental request also funds the firefighters union contract, which was recently negotiated with the town and reflects the same wage increase as all other collective bargaining agreements. I do think it's very important for residents to know that more than $770,000 of the needed amount is coming from unspent funds from this year, thanks to the diligence of the department heads who identified some excess funds. And the balance of approximately $1.3 million will be transferred from free cash. So after review last week, the committee sends this to the full council with a unanimous favorable recommendation.
Thank you, Councilor Baraka. Anybody from the mayor's office wish to speak on this order?
Thank you, Madam President.
Of course.
I would just like to add that, this was quite an effort, and, we kind of held off on, and it had requested a little bit more time. This was, when I first started looking at the supplement of the potential numbers back in December, the estimate was somewhere in the $2.4 million range. That was going to come from free cash. So as things developed and, we were hit with this pandemic, we have made adjustments in so many ways. And we do have additional revenue that will be coming down over time, in addition to what was saved here by doing transfers of savings. But I have to tell you, I was extremely impressed by the work and the effort put in by my Chief of Staff, Nicole Taub, Ed Spellman, and each and every department head. I mean, they combed through every last nickel, and every day I would come in and, I'd have a positive report coming from Nicole as far as how much more money we were able to transfer. So we basically, as a team, we looked at the fact that we're in the middle of a pandemic, and we looked at the fact that there were going to be some savings in the 2020 budget because of that. And instead of wasting the opportunity, we capitalized on it. And fortunately, because of the work and the teamwork, and I have to emphasize that, because each department head had to comb through their budget to make the best assumptions they could to transfer this money. And that's the way I want things run. And that's what happened here. And it was a very unified and a very collaborative event in which everybody came together to make this happen. I mean, we could be looking at $1 million more right now in free cash being spent, and we're not. And I just can't stress enough, the credit goes to them, to my staff, and I just wanted you to know, and I know that the previous speaker had mentioned the numbers and how things had been worked on over the course of the last couple of months. But for me, to see the effort that was put in and to see those numbers met and brought down to 1.295 million was impressive. And that's that's kind of reflective of what we plan on doing in the future. I mean, we plan on finding ways of minimizing overtime so we don't end up with these large sums of supplemental budgets at the end of each year. So our goal, we have, when we get to next week in the budget, we have actually put a little bit more funding in there, but our goal is to find ways of minimizing those additional costs. And as you know, we've had those additional costs for the last several years, and we've had to supplement them. And now that our free cash is not as much as it was, it's really, really important for me and my staff to find solutions. So, you have my commitment that we are going to do everything we can to minimize these supplemental budgets as much as we can, so that, we have real numbers every time the budget is presented. And unless there's some emergency that comes up that has a good reason, we eventually want to get to the point where we fully fund what's required for these overtime accounts. So I just, once again, want to thank all of my staff for all of the hard work they did. And I especially want to thank the Ways and Means Committee. When I look at all the questions and all the effort that you put in to understand everything, not only the capital budget, and when we get to the budget next week, but even, these transfers, et cetera, I don't think folks realize how many questions are asked prior to even the Ways and Means meetings, and then at the Ways and Means meeting. So, a lot of you folks are new, and I think that you're doing an exceptional job in making sure that you have all the answers and you're representing your constituents well. So I just wanted to thank all of you for the effort that you put in. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Kokoros.
And I ask for your support.
A number of questions, which, if I'm not mistaken, all the questions that were asked of the Ways and Means and all the counselors will be put on the town's website for the residents to look at. Are they out there now, Chief of Staff?
Madam President, I'm in the process of organizing the questions by department so that they get posted in the most kind of easily readable and understandable format, and hope to have that in the next day or so, so the public can access all the questions and answers.
Can I ask that that be emailed to myself and Sue, and we can distribute it to the counselors as well? So
Absolutely.
Great. Okay. Any of the counselors wish to speak on this order? Seeing none, we are still in a public hearing. Anybody from the public wish to speak on order 20041, the supplemental appropriation? Seeing none, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
Madam President, I'd move to close the public hearing.
Second.
There's been a motion to close the public hearing by Councilor Ringa, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call vote, please.
Councilor Berica,
Yes.
Councilor Connors,
Aye.
Councillor Flaherty,
Yes.
Councillor Hume,
Aye.
Councillor Mackin,
Yes.
Councillor O'Brien,
Aye.
Councillor Ringus,
Aye.
Councillor Ryan,
Aye.
Councillor Sasha,
Yes.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Okay, Councilor Ringus, is there a motion for order 20041, items 1 through 18? We need each individually we're going to do. Councilor Ringus, you're busy tonight.
Bear with me. There's 18 of these. It's getting kind of creepy out here, so we're going to get through them. So as to the police department, I would move that the sum of $800 be transferred from municipal license and inspections, substance abuse prevention program 06, office supplies account. $400 be transferred from municipal license and inspections, substance abuse prevention program 06 telephone account. $200 be transferred from municipal license and inspections, substance abuse prevention program 06 mileage account. That $1,700 be transferred from municipal license and inspections, substance use prevention program 06 printing account. That $1,200 be transferred from municipal license and inspections, substance use prevention program 06 meeting account. That $1,000 be transferred from municipal license and inspections, substance use prevention program 06 postage account. That $250 be transferred from municipal license and inspections, substance use prevention program 06 dues account. That $2,000 be transferred from municipal license and inspections, substance use prevention program 06 travel account. That $7,000 be transferred from municipal license and inspections, administration program 01 clerical account. That $838 be transferred from municipal license and inspections, administration program 01 longevity account. That $500 be transferred from municipal license and inspections, administration program 01 telephone account. That $400 be transferred from municipal license and inspections, administration program 01 printing account. That $900 be transferred from municipal license and inspections, administration program 01 meeting account. That $1,000 be transferred from municipal license and inspections, administration program 01 prescription eye account. That $600 be transferred from municipal license and inspections, equipment maintenance program 03 motor vehicle account. That $56,000 be transferred from municipal license and inspections, inspection program 05 inspectors account. That $4,000 be transferred from municipal license and inspections, inspection program 05 mileage account. That $215,000 be transferred from the school department FY20 operating budget, $4,000 be transferred from the planning and community development administration program 01 planning administration account. The $2,275 be transferred from planning and community development fair housing program 08 awards and ceremonies account. And $822,937 be transferred from fiscal year 2019 certified free cash account, for a total of $1,123,000 to be transferred to the police department overtime accounts. And further, that the director of municipal finance be authorized to allocate said sums to and among the various line items affected thereby.
Second.
There's been a motion made by Councilor Ringus, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call vote, please.
Councilor Baraka,
Yes.
Councilor Connors,
Aye.
Councilor Flaherty,
Yes.
Councilor Hume,
Aye.
Councilor Mackin,
Yes.
Councilor O'Brien,
Aye.
Councilor Ringus,
Aye.
Councilor Ryan,
Aye.
Councilor Sasha.
Yes.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Councilor Mackin, were you a yes on that vote?
Yes, it was.
Perfect. All right, thank you. Thank you, Clerk Cimino. So that is unanimous. Councilor Ringus.
I would move that the sum of $54,829.20 be transferred from the Mayor's Department Administration Program 01 Administrative Clerical account. and $472,657.80 be transferred from the fiscal year 2019 certified free cash account for a total of $527,487 to be transferred to the fire department overtime accounts. And further, the Director of Municipal Finance be authorized to allocate said sums to and among the various line items affected.
So moved. Second.
There's been a motion made by Councilor Ringa, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call, please.
Council Barica,
Yes.
Council Connors,
Aye.
Council Flaherty,
Yes.
Council Hume,
Aye.
Council Mackin,
Yes.
Council O'Brien,
Aye.
Council Ringus,
Aye.
Council Ryan,
Aye.
Council Sasha.
Yes.
That's 9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. Councilor Ringus.
As to Department of Public Works, the sum of $41,563 be transferred from DPW Snow and Ice Program 11 Contract Services account, and the sum of $24,579 be transferred from the DPW Summer Program 20 account, for a total of $66,142 to be transferred to the Department of Public Works Program 12 Environmental Affairs and Waste Collection Solid Waste Recycling Processing account for the increased cost of the recycling program due to added disposal costs that the town is incurring.
Second.
Then a motion made by Councilor Ringus, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call, please.
Council Barica,
Yes.
Council Connors,
Aye.
Council Flaherty,
Yes.
Council Hume,
Aye.
Council Mackin,
Yes.
Council O'Brien,
Aye.
Council Ringus,
Aye.
Council Ryan,
Aye.
Council Sasha.
Yes.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Cimino. Councilor Ringus.
As to the fire department, that the town vote to amend the wage and salary classification schedules as most recently amended by appropriating the sum of $141,407.02 for the purpose of funding a wage increase and other items as detailed in the memorandum of agreement for the Greentree Firefighters Association Local 920 IAAF effective July 1st of 2019. And for this purpose, the sum of $8,356.77 be transferred from the Human Resources Department Administration Program 01 Salary Reserve. The sum of $32,662 be transferred from the DPW Summer Program 20 Part-Time Salary Account. That $15,000 be transferred from the DPW Recreation and Community Events Program 15 July 4th Festivities Account. The $25,000 be transferred from the DPW Recreation and Community Events Program 15 July 4th Parade account. The $50,000 be transferred from the Planning and Community Development Economic Development Program 07 prior year encumbrance account. That $5,000 be transferred from the Planning and Community Development Conservation Program 05 Pond Meadow Vegetative Treatment account. That $5,000 be transferred from the Planning and Community Development Economic Development Program 07 Life Sciences account, and $388.25 be transferred from Elder Affairs Department Administration Program 01 Copier Toner Supplies account for a total of $141,407.02 to be transferred to the Fire Department Uniform Branch accounts, and further, that the Director of Municipal Finance is authorized to allocate said sums to and among the various line items.
Second.
There's been a motion made by Councilor Ringus, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call, please.
Council Barica,
Yes.
Council Connors,
Aye.
Council Flaherty,
Yes.
Council Hume,
Aye.
Council Mackin,
Yes.
Council O'Brien,
Aye.
Council Ringus,
Aye.
Council Ryan,
Aye.
Council Sasha.
Yes.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Cimino. Back to you, Councilor Ringus.
Thank you, Madam President. That the sum of $70,000 be transferred from the DPW Department Construction Administration Program 05 Traffic Engineer account, and $27,751.55 be transferred from the Planning and Community Development Department, Program 04, Principal Planner Account. $2,240.25 be transferred from Elder Affairs Department, Administration Program 01, Administrative Salaries Account. $1,200 be transferred from Elder Affairs Department, Administration Program 01, Office Supplies Account. $11.75 be transferred from Elder Affairs Department, Administration Program 01, Copy Toner Supplies. $82 be transferred from Elder Affairs Department, Administration Program 01, Social Activities Account. $2,000 be transferred from Elder Affairs Department, Equipment Program 02, Outside Motor Vehicle Account. $1,500 be transferred from Elder Affairs Program Equipment Program 02 Gasoline Account. $900 to be transferred from Elder Affairs Department Building Maintenance Program 03 Building Repair Account. $100 to be transferred from Elder Affairs Program Equipment Program 02 Telephone Account. $200 be transferred from Elder Affairs Program Equipment Program 02 Natural Gas Account, for a total of $106,185.55 to be transferred to the Fire Department salary accounts, and further, that the Director of Municipal Finance be authorized to allocate said sums to and among the various line items affected.
Second.
A motion made by Council Ringa, seconded by Council O'Brien. Clerk Cimino, roll call, please.
Council Barica,
Yes.
Councilor Connors,
Aye.
Councilor Flaherty,
Yes.
Councilor Hume,
Aye.
Councilor Mackin,
Yes.
Councilor O'Brien,
Aye.
Councilor Ringus,
Aye.
Councilor Ryan,
Aye.
Councilor Sasha,
Yes.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Cimino. Council Ringas.
As to the Fire Department, that the sum of $8,131.45 be transferred from the Planning and Community Development Department Program 04 Principal Planner Account. $2,700 be transferred from Fire Department Building Maintenance Program 02 Lighting Account. $759.75 be transferred from Elder Affairs Department Administration Program 01 Administrative Salaries Account. $5,513 be transferred from Fire Department Building Maintenance Program 02 Natural Gas Account, and $18,170.80 be transferred from the Maintenance Department Administration Program 01 Administrative Clerical Account, for a total of $35,275 to be transferred to the Fire Department Fire Suppression Program 04 Working Out of Grade Account.
Second.
Been a motion made by Council Ringas, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call, please.
Council Barica,
Yes.
Councilor Connors,
Aye.
Councilor Flaherty,
Yes.
Councilor Hume,
Aye.
Councilor Mackin,
Aye.
Councilor O'Brien,
Aye.
Councilor Ringus,
Aye.
Councilor Ryan,
Aye.
Councilor Sasha,
Yes.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Cimino. Council Ringas.
That, as to the Fire Department, Madam President, that the sum of $3,037 be transferred from Planning and Development Historic Commission Program 09 Consultant Account. The sum of $7,000 from the Fire Department Administration Program 01 Data Processing Account. The sum of $7,000 from the Fire Department Equipment Maintenance Program 03 Data Processing Account. And $418 be transferred from the Elder Affairs Program Administration Social Activities Account, for a total of $17,455 to be transferred to the Fire Department Fire Suppression Program 04 Deskman Account.
Second.
There's been a motion made by Council Ringas, seconded by Council Ryan. Roll call vote, please, Clerk Cimino.
Council Barica,
Yes.
Councilor Connors,
Aye.
Councilor Flaherty,
Yes.
Councilor Hume,
Aye.
Councilor Mackin,
Yes.
Councilor O'Brien,
Aye.
Councilor Ringus,
Aye.
Councilor Ryan,
Aye.
Councilor Sasha,
Yes.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Cimino. Council Ringas.
Again, Madam President, so the Fire Department, that the sum of $1,555 be transferred from Planning and Development Historic Commission Program 09 Consultant Account. The sum of $7,000 from the Finance Treasurer Collectors Program 10 Postage Account. The the sum of $3,000 from the Finance Treasurer's Collectors Program 10 printing account, the sum of $23,000 from Fire Department Training Program 08 Service Training account, and the sum of $15,000 from Fire Department Fire Suppression Program 04 Replacement Equipment account, for a total of $49,555 to be transferred to the Fire Department Fire Suppression Program 04 Desk Man Overtime account.
Second.
And a motion made by Councilor Ringa, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call, please.
Council Barica,
Yes.
Councilor Connors,
Aye.
Councilor Flaherty,
Yes.
Councilor Hume,
Aye.
Councilor Mackin,
Yes.
Councilor O'Brien,
Aye.
Councilor Ringus,
Aye.
Councilor Ryan,
Aye.
Councilor Sasha.
Yes.
It's 9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, clerk, and we're halfway there. Councilor Ringus.
As to the police department, that the sum of $6,700 be transferred from the police department communication program 05 other communication to the following accounts: $6,000 to the police department patrol program 04 sworn personnel account, $350 to the police department animal control program 10 other police persons account, and $350 to the police department animal control program 10 part-time employee account.
Second.
And a motion made by Councilor Ringa, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call, please.
Councilor Barica,
Yes.
Councilor Connors,
Aye.
Councilor Flaherty,
Yes.
Councilor Hume,
Aye.
Councilor Mackin,
Aye.
Councilor O'Brien,
Aye.
Councilor Ringus,
Aye.
Councilor Ryan,
Aye.
Councilor Sasha.
Yes.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Cimino. Councilor Ringus.
Madam President, as to the police department, that the sum of $46,629.27 be transferred from the police department traffic program 07 sworn personnel account to the following accounts: $34,000 to the police department administrative program 01 administrative clerical account, and $12,629.27 to the police department patrol program 04 sworn personnel account.
Second.
Been a motion made by Councilor Ringa, seconded by Councilor Ryan. A roll call vote, please, Clerk Cimino.
Councilor Barica,
Yes.
Councilor Connors,
Aye.
Councilor Flaherty,
Yes.
Councilor Hume,
Aye.
Councilor Mackin,
Aye.
Councilor O'Brien,
Aye.
Councilor Ringus,
Aye.
Councilor Ryan,
Aye.
Councilor Sasha.
Yes.
What's
Nine.
that behind Councilor Ringus? Never mind.
0 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Cimino. Councilor Ryan. Ringus.
But now I'm scared. As for the police the sum of $2,042.52 be transferred from police department traffic program 07 accreditation account to the police department patrol program 04 sworn personnel account.
Second.
Been a motion made by Councilor Ringus, seconded by Councilor Ryan. A roll call vote, please, Clerk Cimino.
Councilor Barica,
Yes.
Councilor Connors,
Aye.
Councilor Flaherty,
Yes.
Councilor Hume,
Aye.
Councilor Mackin,
Yes.
Councilor O'Brien,
Aye.
Councilor Ringus,
Aye.
Councilor Ryan,
Aye.
Councilor Sasha.
Yes.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Cimino. Councilor Ringus.
As to the police department, that the sum of $2,548.42 be transferred from police department traffic program 07 holidays account to the police department patrol program 04 sworn personnel account.
Second.
Been a motion made by Councilor Ringus, seconded by Councilor Ryan. A
Councilor
roll call
Barica,
vote, please, Clerk Cimino.
Yes.
Councilor Connors,
Aye.
Councilor Flaherty,
Yes.
Councilor Hume,
Aye.
Councilor Mackin,
Yes.
Councilor O'Brien,
Aye.
Councilor Ringus,
Aye.
Councilor Ryan,
Aye.
Councilor Sasha.
Yes.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Cimino. Councilor Ringus.
As for the police department, I would move that the sum of $13,340 be transferred from police department, traffic program 07, educational account to the police department, patrol program 04, sworn personnel account.
Second.
There's been a motion made by Councilor Ringus, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call vote.
Councilor Berica,
Yes.
Councilor Connors,
Aye.
Councilor Flaherty,
Yes.
Councilor Hume,
Aye.
Councilor Mackin,
Yes.
Councilor O'Brien,
Aye.
Councilor Ringus,
Aye.
Councilor Ryan,
Aye.
Councilor Sasha.
Yes.
That's 9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Cimino. Councilor Ringus.
As to the police department, that the sum of $6,125.56 be transferred for police department, traffic program 07, shift differential account to the police department, patrol program 04, sworn personnel account.
Second.
There's been a motion made by Councilor Ringus, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call, please.
Councilor Berica,
Yes.
Councilor Connors,
Aye.
Councilor Flaherty,
Yes.
Councilor Hume,
Aye.
Councilor Mackin,
Aye.
Councilor O'Brien,
Aye.
Councilor Ringus,
Aye.
Councilor Ryan,
Aye.
Councilor Sasha.
Yes.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Cimino. Councilor Ringus.
As to the police department, the sum of $500 to the police be transferred to the police department traffic program 07 stress training account to the police department patrol program 04 sworn personnel account.
Second.
There's been a motion made by Councilor Ringus, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call, please.
Councilor Berica,
Yes.
Councilor Connors,
Oh, sorry. Aye.
Councilor Flaherty,
Yes.
Councilor Hume,
Aye.
Councilor Mackin,
Aye.
Councilor O'Brien,
Aye.
Councilor Ringus,
Aye.
Councilor Ryan,
Aye.
Councilor Sasha.
Yes.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Cimino. Councilor Ringus.
The sum of $500 be transferred from police department traffic program 07 firearms training account to the police department patrol program 04 sworn personnel account.
Second.
There's been a motion made by Councilor Ringus, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call, please.
Councilor Berica,
Yes.
Councilor Connors,
Aye.
Councilor Flaherty,
Yes.
Councilor Hume,
Aye.
Councilor Mackin,
Yes.
Councilor O'Brien,
Aye.
Councilor Ringus,
Aye.
Councilor Ryan,
Aye.
Councilor Sasha.
Yes.
It's 9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Cimino. Councilor Ringus.
That the sum of $500 be transferred from police department traffic program 07 uniform allowances account to the police department patrol program 04 sworn personnel account.
Second.
Been a motion made by Councilor Ringus, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call vote, please.
Councilor Berica,
Yes.
Councilor Connors,
Aye.
Councilor Flaherty,
Yes.
Councilor Hume,
Aye.
Councilor Mackin,
Yes.
Councilor O'Brien,
Aye.
Councilor Ringus,
Aye.
Councilor Ryan,
Aye.
Councilor Sasha.
Yes.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Cimino. And Councilor Ringus, your final one.
Last one. For the police department, that the sum of $14,000 be transferred from police department special services program 08 crossing account to the following accounts: $2,000 to the police department administration program 01 uniform allowance account, $4,000 to the police department building maintenance program 02 building repairs account, $4,000 to the police department equipment maintenance program 03 outside motor vehicle repairs account, and $4,000 to the police department patrol bureau program 04 uniform allowance account.
Second.
There's been a motion made by Councilor Ringus, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, roll call, please.
Councilor Berica,
Yes, you got your team found their pennies, Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Connors,
You know.
Aye.
Councilor Flaherty,
Yes.
Councillor Hume,
Aye.
Councillor Mackin,
Yes.
Councillor O'Brien,
Aye.
Councillor Ringus,
Aye.
Councillor Ryan,
Aye.
Councillor Sasha.
Yes.
That's 9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Cimino, and thank you, Council Ringus, for reading all of those. I just want to again say special thanks to Ways and Means. So much work went into this, so much time, so many questions and thoughtfulness through this, but also I want to extend a special thanks to someone doing double duty is Solicitor Nicole Taub, as well as Interim Chief of Staff. She was the one coordinating all the questions and answers from the Ways and Means, as well as all the department heads. There was myself and Clerk Cimino who see all the questions, so you as an individual counsel may not see all of them, but there were so many questions coming every day, each and every day. She was getting them out as fast as possible, as well as keeping up with the day-to-day ongoings of the town and running the town. This is just one piece of the job that they have to do, so it doesn't go unnoticed. We appreciate the extreme amount of work. Myself serving on Ways and Means for the last 6 years, there's a lot of work going into it, especially with mostly new counselors on it. There was even more work on both sides of it. So truly appreciate, don't think we can say that enough. There's so much time and effort that goes into this, and I think it was a real thorough examination from the legislative side of government plus the executive side of government. So again, I think I can speak for all the counselors when I say to the mayor's office and to Nicole Taub and all the department heads here and even not with us tonight, thank you for the tireless efforts and going back to the drawing board, if you will, to look at. I've never seen so many line item transfers in all my 6 years. So I know you guys were working so hard and it shows. And I think the residents of Greentree will appreciate that as well. So kudos to all of you and job well done.
Thank you.
And with that, we will move on to new business, which we have none. We have Bill Needham in attendance as always. We can't be here in person, but Bill Needham is on the panel. He will televise this on BCAM, so for the residents who were not here in attendance tonight can see it at home. So Bill Needham, thank you to you and BCAM for always supporting the council and letting the residents hear what is going on in our form of government. With that, is there a motion to adjourn?
Madam President, I would move to adjourn.
Second.
There's been a motion made by Councillor Ringus, seconded by Councillor Ryan. Clerk Cimino, final roll call for the night.
Councillor Baraka,
Yes.
Councillor Connors,
Aye.
Councillor Flaherty,
Yes.
Councillor Hume,
Aye.
Councillor Mackin,
Yes.
Councillor O'Brien,
Aye.
Councillor Ringus,
Aye.
Councillor Ryan,
Aye.
Councillor Sasha.
Yes.
That's 9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Good night, everybody.
Night.
I know we just adjourned, but I would be remiss if I did not thank Clerk Cimino, who organized all of our questions coming in and going out. I couldn't do this without Clerk Cimino, and she keeps us all organized and the meetings organized, and it's not easy doing this remotely from Zoom. So Clerk Cimino, I truly, truly appreciate more than ever the job you do for us. So thank you.
Thank you, Sue.
You're welcome.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, all.
Everybody.
Good night.